I'm really here to talk about what we're doing on Sunday mornings and really dive into camera stuff. And I'm really about the basics. I'm about learning from the beginning. What is the importance of detail? So I'm going to be showing you some clips throughout the day while I also get into demonstrations. I'm going to break down on a camera my shot and how I pick a shot. I'm going to be splitting this off into groups and letting you guys touch cameras, do all the things that I do. And it's all about learning the basics. So I want to start with a clip from Jaws. Does anybody here ever see Jaws? Noah is a film buff. First scene is without music.
Don't screw it up now. Don't wait for me. Cut, Quincy. Cut! Now! Shoot! Time! What were you doing? You knew I had to get a clean shot right in the head. All right, let's see how long that battle takes to bring him up. Bring that ball! I'm coming around again!
Okay, now we're going to add symphony music.
Your turn. Open. Hurry up, Dresher. Hurry up, he's coming straight for us. Don't screw it up now. Don't wait for me. What were you doing? You knew I had to get a clean shot right in the head. All right, let's see how long that battle takes to bring him up. Bring that ball! I'm coming around again!
So what we're seeing there is what the difference just one element of a production can bring. Did we all feel the difference of what that music brought to that tension, to that scene, from no music to adding the music? If you really want to dive in, Spielberg's going to do Jaws, you want to dive into what Jaws is all about, go look up a movie called, look up his first movie. I think it's called Duel. It's actually, do you know it?
Yeah, that's a great movie. Dennis Weaver.
It's the 18-wheeler.
18-wheeler comes after the guy. Yeah, it sounds like the dumbest.
Sounds like a dumb plot. It's an 18-wheeler guy. I believe he cut him off, and it is a chase down highways through, you know, and this is made back and forth, so you're going through gas stations, and it's basically an 18-wheeler chasing a car. And if you watch it, oh, he was just practicing for Jaws. That was his first film. He was practicing for Jaws. So it's a really cool movie to go back and watch, and then Jaws, anytime it's on, I'm leaving it on. So that's the importance of detail. So no matter what I'm talking about, whether it's I'm talking about editing, I'm talking about video, I'm talking about audio, all these things intertwine to make a perfect production. I don't want to say perfect, but make a good production, make an overall good production. So we want to keep attention to detail. I can come and I can show you how to do the cool shot and give you some frameage, how to lower your f-stop to get a great blurred background and this awesome cinematic shot. But if I just show you that, I haven't taught you what you really need to know to get there. If I didn't work my 2 a.m. shift, I would have never gotten to the point where I had all this time to practice and learn in the beginning to get to that level. So let's keep going. Okay, SWEFF. What is SWEFF? SWEFF is a term that if you're going to use camera, you should instill in your brain. When I am up in the booth and I am talking to the 2 camera people actually, that one we'll talk about in a second, even though they don't know it, I'm walking them through SWEFF. SWEFF is sound, white balance, exposure, focus, framing. All right, so anytime we go out on a shoot, and we're going to go over my camera in a second, and we're going to do some live demoing. Got to have good sound. If you don't have a sound engineer, you're doing it by yourself, you don't have somebody who's an audio tech on site with me, I need to know I got good sound. If I come back and I deliver a product or I sit at my editing bay and the sound, that's on me. I can't, some stuff you can't fix. Can fix stuff in post, and we're going to get to that, but you can't fix everything. So always want to make sure sound's good. White balance. We'll go over white balance, but we always want to make sure we have a good white balance, no matter how we're doing it. We don't want to come back and our footage is orange. I've seen people do this. I worked at NBC. I've seen people who came and thought they could do it and come back with blue. And they got to come to me or somebody else who's talented. You got to color correct it. You got to fix all my footage. All right, this is what happens. So we want to concentrate on sound. We want to concentrate on white balance. We want to concentrate on exposure. That's the image that's in our camera. We're using multiple different things. We're using shutter. We're using f-stops. We're using ISO. We're going to get into all that, but that's not right now. These are the things that are going through my head every time I set up a shot. And it's not me saying SWEFF, da, 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 da. I just know it now. So after exposure, I'm doing focus. So focus is, I'm zooming in. A lot of the newer cameras, we tap, it'll pop in. Getting that good thing. Some of them have safety guides, like some of these cameras have, where they'll put blue lines or red lines to let you know you're getting the right focus. So after focus, I'm pulling back out and I'm framing. I'm framing my shot, and we're going to get into framing. So a lot of stuff when we're looking at framing, and again, this is just the basics, so I'm going to be talking about basic stuff. So we have 3 pictures here. One is too little headroom, his head's being cut off. One is too much headroom. One is the proper headroom. It's more something you learn as you do it. But again, we're pulling live shots. If I have a cameraman in the middle, I have Pastor Bill giving me the opening announcements, and we have Pastor Jin who's going to come up and do our sermon for the day. I need to let my center cameraman know, because I'm upstairs, okay, Pastor Bill's a little bit taller. I'm going to go to one of my other cameras. Once the announcements are done, you're going to need to get on to Pastor Jin. He's going to come down a little bit, make sure the headroom's right. So I'm not going to that camera until I've confirmed, okay, you might have a little bit too much headroom. Can you bring it down a little bit? Oh, you were cutting off his head. Can you bring it up a little bit? So these are the things you want to think about as you're, not in all that situation, but just in this situation, setting up a shot, where the headroom is. And if you have 2 people, it might be different headroom. Rule of thirds. I can't go through this and talk to you about what the rule of thirds is. A shot is compromised into 3/4 sections. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The idea of this is an old school idea, is that the intersection points are where your action should be. So a lot of times you'll see interviews, like an eyeball is going to hit right there. That's something I frame in my head when I'm framing a shot. If I didn't do it when I shot it, if I shot a little wide for safety, I'm fixing it. And it's not that I put this grid up, it's just that my brain knows it. So when you go home and you watch a movie tonight or you stream a TV show, look and see if they're trying to hit these 2 lines of the rule of thirds.